Howdy folks, got the 5900S air valve here today, and what we're doing is we're going to remove, there I am removing the cover, we're going to remove these seals and spacers and piston from the piston chamber, and we're doing that for cleaning and inspection. This is generally something you probably want to do about once a year on your air valve as far as regular maintenance goes, and if you happen to get too aggressive on the initial backwashings, if you got some media up in the head, then a lot of times you're going to need to take this apart to resolve that issue. So the first thing I'm doing is I remove the screw and the washer from the yoke. This is the yoke of the piston, and I'm removing a screw and a washer from there. Then I'm removing these two screws down here, and then I have those two screws are holding the control body onto the valve, and then I got these other two black screws over here. So I had to remove 5 small screws, and that takes the bottom plate away. And now the whole front part of the valve. When you're taking it away, notice how the white part, the stem of the gear, the gear stem is poking through. You'll have to line that up again later on. The piston will have to return to this position because that's where that is. So you set that aside there, and then you've got 3 remaining screws here that you need to remove, and I've already loosened 2 of them, and now I'm going to loosen the other 2, so just bear with me for a second here. And once you get these off, so you have a total of 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws to remove, and that is it. A couple of the screws are 1/4 inch, and I think the other ones are 3/8. And so once you get these 3 off, you can just pull the whole thing up slowly. What you're pulling up is the piston, and it's going to bring the seals and spacers along with it. Now, this one's brand new. There isn't a speck of nothing, and that's the whole point of the argument, or the reason for doing it, is that likely yours is going to be all dirty. If it's new and you have a loss of flow, then this is going to be all black. It's going to have the fresh Pro-Ox media all over it. If it's old, this part's going to be rusty. It's going to have your precipitated iron. But this is what the piston looks like, and see how it's not marked up? There aren't any score marks on the side of it. If you look at an old piston for comparison, you can plainly see what you're looking for is the change in coloration, and these score marks on the side eventually allow water to bleed through. So whether it's preventatively for a couple of different reasons, if you get this thing out and clean it up before it gets too bad, you prevent it from getting worse. Now you have the seal and spacer stack. These are the rubber seals, and these are the hard plastic spacers, and they go rubber seal, plastic spacer, and they all come out, and it's easy enough. You just get your fingers in there and fish them all out. If you've got a lot of rust and iron buildup in there and a lot of sediment in there, you'll find it's a little harder to get them off, and that's what you're trying to get out, is whether it's rust, iron, sediment, or if it's on a new startup, you're just trying to get the media out. You're going to get all of the seals and spacers out. And folks, I'm doing it on a bench. You can do this with the valve. You don't have to take the valve off of the tank. You can put it on bypass and depressurize the inside of it, and then take the seal and spacer stack out. You don't have to remove it from the whole thing. So I'm going to get all of the seals and spacers. The last one isn't technically a spacer. It's the bottom spacer, and it's different from all of the other spacers, and it's got 2 little nubs on the bottom of it that have to fit in a certain way, and it's really easy to see if you're standing on top of it with a flashlight or whatever. You can get the thing, and then it drops down, and the 2 little nubs lock it so it doesn't swivel around. So that's everything inside. You've now removed all the stuff that's inside. Now get in there and flush it all out, clean it all out. If you're looking for media, anything that's little bits of black specks, get all of that out of there. Your pathways during this time are open. You can take your drain, you can remove your blue clip and maybe get a funnel and put some water back in that direction if you think it'll help. But basically what you're trying to do is just clean all of that up. If you've got iron deposits and it's all mucky, then you want to clean all of that up. What wears, if you're doing this for preventative maintenance, it's the inside seals get frayed as the piston is traveling through it when it goes up and down. When you suck in your raw water, if you've got bits of grit, the grit gets trapped right there, and that's what tears the thing apart. apart, and that's what starts fraying the seals and causes those to be needed to replace. So you can extend their life by doing preventative cleaning. But if you're doing this for media clogging in the head, get it all washed out, get it to where you don't see any media anywhere, and then start with your bottom your bottom one that has to fit in the certain way, and then stack the rest of them up, put it back together, tighten up, put the 8 screws back in, and turn the thing back on. You're back in business. Thanks, folks.